And this lady looks up at me wide-eyed and goes, "Who the f are you?" It's early. It's so early. I love you. Bradley has chess this morning, hence the early morning drop-off at 6:50 a.m. I have become like hyper aware of my energy recently, and to a point where I can notice automatically when I'm feeling like off and like rushed or like trying to get somewhere mentally before I'm actually there. And I feel like my first instinct has been every time that happens to like try to figure it out and like solve it. And that leads me to that concept of thinking your way through things. And I'm now just recognizing that thinking my way through things like literally does not work for me. And I'm noticing like the shift in me is when I feel like I have to figure my way out of something or like figure how to get something, I get stuck. And so what is starting to happen is when I feel that stickiness and like stuckness, I not only need to get out of my head, but I need to get in some sort of like flow and start being creative, because my creativity is how I have been coming back to myself a lot recently. I need to stop trying to figure out every detail of my life all the time, because I could sit here for literally hours trying to quote figure it out, and by the end of it I still wouldn't feel good about it because I would only have the idea and the concept around it, not the physical action of it. So when I'm noticing I'm feeling like a little like frictiony and kind of just off, I am trying to push myself to get in some sort of creative flow, something to get me back into my body. And it's so weird how this has come up for me this week like 15 different times in like super random scenarios, and it's just like this constant repetition. I feel like I'm learning right now of, okay, when you're trying to figure it out, be creative. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to get the answer right away. I keep coming back to it as if it's like a cyclical cycle over and over and over, just with different facets presenting itself to me. And I'm noticing like that version of me who does get into that creative flow rather than resist it is like the most grounded version of myself. And then I was thinking, that's why I film in my car so often, is because it's like one of the only places where I don't feel like I'm being pulled in a million directions and I'm truly like alone. There's no pressure. I can say anything. I can be anything. I can hold myself in like whatever way I want in that space, however I want. I'm still figuring all this out and really learning how to integrate this like creativity and flow and like an easy way to drop into it, because I do know that every single time I stop trying to force clarity and just let myself like create, there's a subtle shift. Anyway, that's my thoughts right now. A soccer game, Bradley and I came to the nail salon for a little girls' day. Bradley, are you ready to do your hair? We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. I'm gonna go to school. I dropped Bradley off this morning a little bit early at school because she had like a fundraiser event, and that allowed me to get to the studio an hour early. I just wrote out an entire new Pilates class with a new playlist, and I'm excited. Tonight I'm going to a Justin Biebercella themed workout class, and I think it's gonna be so fun. But my playlist today is like Young Miko x Labyrinth, just alternating, intermixed, a few other songs. There's a little Renee rap, there's a little Disclosure in it. It's a vibe. I'm excited to go teach, but before I do that, I need to ground myself because I have so much energy right now, and granted, I need a lot of energy to teach. And there's something I've realized that is really important, is making sure I'm fully tapped into myself so that when I teach, my personality, my energy, my excitement comes from a rooted place. I truly love my Thursday mornings. The clients that I have for my mat Pilates class, 10 out of 10 human beings. And today we talked after class, and it was just such a nourishing conversation just about like life, and then about fitness, and then about like where you at emotionally. And conversations like that with people who are truly in alignment and like fully themselves is so inspirational to be around, and like truly makes me want to become like a better version of me so that we can maintain our relationship, because they're constantly growing, they're constantly evolving, they're never just staying the same, they're always like working on something or exploring a new facet of themselves, and I just love it. I am running into a Justin Biebercella themed class.
I'm talking about your core, your hips, and your glutes.
First off, music, fire. Second off, holy shit, I am literally drenched. It was so hot in there. Granted, I am not a hot class girly. I'm more of like a warm girly, but that class was hot. Like HOTTTTTTT exclamation point hot. I am ready to go take a shower and I have a story time for you, so buckle up. Okay, story time. So last night I was at the nail salon, Peep the Nails, we love them. And like 10 minutes into us getting our nails done, this woman walks in, right? And she sits like 2 or 3 chairs away from us. And the nail tech was like, hey, how are you doing? And this woman just pops off. She's like, I'm not doing well. I'm in the middle of a divorce. The kids are suffering. I'm in the middle of this custody battle. And she goes into like grave detail on all the things that are going on. And my heart went out to this woman because she was in the thick of it. And she was definitely trying to like mentally process as she was talking about what was going on. And part of me wanted to go up and say something to her. But another part of me was like, I don't want to overstep. Like, I don't know if that's my place. She's not directly talking to me. I'm just overhearing her conversation. So I end up having to go wash my hands off, and the sink is literally right next to her chair. So I get up, I go wash my hands, and I just felt like this little nudge and this little pull to say something to her. So I looked over at her and I was like, hi, I don't mean to overstep at all, but I just want you to know that you are not alone in what you're experiencing. I just finished like a 6-year-long court battle, and I understand how overwhelming it all is, like the financial strain, the mental instability, like, and trying to hold it all together, like for your kids. I get what you're going through, and I just want you to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you, and the woman you are going to become in the process of all this will blow your mind. And this lady looks up at me wide-eyed and goes, who the fuck are you? And I was like, oh, again, I'm so sorry if I overstepped. Like, I She goes, no, who are you? And she said it in a way of like disbelief, not like, what the heck are you doing? I was like, oh, my name's Sarah Elizabeth. Like, that's my daughter over there. She's like, yeah, I saw you and your daughter sitting there. And I was thinking when I walked in, like, oh, I can't wait to be able to do things with my daughter when she's old enough, like blah, 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 blah. And then she starts telling me all about her situation, all about her circumstance, and asking me like very specific questions on like judges and lawyers and all these things. And then she had the opportunity to really like tell me what was going on. And when I tell you, this lady did not hold back. I have the full story. And as she was telling me all of this, I just had deja vu, like 2019, 2020 version of me that was dealing with so much at such a grand capacity. And I didn't have any tools. I didn't have any resources. And it was like anyone who would listen to me, I would just word vomit onto them. And that's what was happening with this lady and me. And I was thinking like, what would my mentor have done for me? And I just thought like, hold the space. So I just held the space for this woman to speak and like share her experience and kind of what's going on. And I just had so much love and compassion for her because I remember being in the trenches and like lost in the sauce and have to hold so much all the time. And every single day there's a new thing going on. And then it's almost like your life becomes a TV show. What's the next episode going to be? When's the next shoe going to drop? And it's a lot. So as this woman started coming into a little bit of completion with her story, she whips out her phone and shows me a picture of a woman that her husband had an affair with, right? And she looks at me and she goes, isn't she so ugly? Like blah, 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 blah. And is like going off. And I paused and I looked at her like gently in the eyes and I said, my validation is not going to heal you. And she paused for a moment and she said, what? And I said with so much love and respect, I don't care about your story. I care about you and I care about your kids. If you do not have capacity and tools to fully digest the things that are going on, there's no way you are going to be connected to your kids or be able to be present with them because you are so disassociated and stuck in the story of it rather than dealing with the emotions from it, allowing you to become present again. And she just paused and like took a deep breath and just like looked at me in the eyes, and her eyes started like welling up with tears. And I told her, I was like, your story matters, but it's not everything. Like there's so much on the other side of this. And I know that you're in the beginning and it's like, there's so much going on. There's so much chaos. But if there's one piece of advice I have for you through this whole experience, it is to learn how to become present with what is here and now. And that also means learning how to create space for really uncomfortable emotions, going through it rather than around it. And that led into an entire conversation around breath work and spirituality, her religion, journaling practices, like all of it. And I was giving her just like a few tips and tricks that I had used when I first got into this space. And I just encouraged her over and over, like, look for ways to help you regulate your nervous system. That is going to be the number one thing I recommend, because at this point you are running on fumes because there's so much built up energy at this point. And then that led into a conversation around like your ego versus like your spirit versus what is truly best for your kids versus what is best for you, and really helping her kind of see like the reality of what co-parenting can look like on the other side. Granted, my co-parenting relationship is not the best, and it is 10 times better than what it was back when I was in her situation. So I was truly just being like a beacon of light for this woman and just sharing with her, it is always worth doing the work. And while I was sitting there and talking with her and having this whole conversation, I was sitting in this polarity of who I used to be versus who I am now. And she asked me, she said, how did you get through it? And how do you have so much like joy and presence and hope now? Because I feel like this experience turns a lot of people sour. And I shared with her, it's because I went through it and I didn't run away, and I confronted all the different parts of myself that started to show up out of fear, out of loss, out of anger. All of those emotions were showing up to teach me something. So then that led into an entire conversation around like female intuition and how do you know when your intuition is speaking to you, like how do you drop in your body, like all of these things. And while I was talking to her about all this, she literally was like, wait, can you pause? Can I start recording this so like I can remember this conversation? And I just like laughed and I was like, of course, do whatever you need. And it was such a powerful moment for me. As someone who has gone through this and struggled so much, I feel obligated to help other women because I know how isolating and I know how hopeless this season of your life can feel, especially when you're doing it alone, and especially when you have the weight of children on your back, knowing you have to show up no matter what, you have to keep going, and there's no way around it because you are so immersed in the experience of it. And it was just so inspiring, and I felt like this little push, like, Sarah, this is the reason you need to start now and not later. And that just hit. It just freaking hit. And I not only feel inspired and motivated, but I feel so genuinely proud of myself. And it was something that when I left the nail salon with Bradley, I was like, I did it. Not that I'm done, but like I did that. I have come from point A to at least point B. I hope I can get to Z one day. But for now, like that is more than enough. And knowing that I have capacity not only to hold the space for another woman, but to fully understand like the depth of grief, the depth of betrayal, like, and all of it is so intentional. Like all of the pain I have experienced has a purpose, and that purpose is to be of service and hold space and care and teach them how to hold themselves. Because at the end of the day, my job is never going to be to heal anyone, but be a beacon of light, be an inspiration, and teach women how to hold themselves so that they can do the work internally. And I am here to support you and love you and cheer you on and push you in any way possible. And that brings me to like thinking about what is like the Exhale Mom mission statement that I want. And I'm still tuning it up, so stay tuned to when I kind of tweak it and get it right. But yeah, that was a wild experience, let me tell you. My nervous system listening to this lady like pop off about her ex and like everything going on, I was standing there like, oh my gosh, this used to be me. I used to be you. I get it, babe. I get it. And I'm truly in awe of the version of me that just didn't give a F and just told everyone everything whenever I wanted, however I wanted to. And the version of me that like tolerated the BS. And I love her. I will love her from afar, but that is not a way I live my life now. But it was just wild. Super cool, super impactful, but also like very eye-opening in the ways of just like the universe and plopping people in your life just like randomly to either be a mirror, to teach you something, to show you something. I'm always just in awe of the synchronicities of life. And I think that encounter was really special and super important on my journey and my path. And I'm going to Colorado tomorrow. Ask me if I'm packed. I'll wait. No, I have nothing packed. It is 10:30. I need to pack my suitcase. I'm going to see my best friend for the weekend and possibly my other best friend. Tell me why both of my best friends moved to Colorado, years apart from each other, but they're both up there. We're doing something really cool in a couple of days. We're doing a sound bowl like ceremony inside of a cave. So I need to get packing and then go to bed because I do have 3 classes I need to teach in the morning. And then right after I teach, I am hopping on a plane and going to Colorado. So thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.